the 8th seed, the Razorbacks of Arkansas.
The Razorbacks are going dancing. They will be an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament starting this week. I'm so excited. I'm already tripping over my words. We've already had people calling into the newsroom about this. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz. Sierra Clark is here, a hog expert, if you will, to talk about what's going on.
Yes, it's a real exciting time for college basketball. I mean, it's what you look forward to all year. It's why they work so hard to get into the tournament and hopefully make a great run into it. The Hogs had their watch party today, and it was Selection Sunday, and we found out that the Hogs will head to Des Moines, Iowa for the first round of the NCAA tournament in the West region. Arkansas, like Sarah said, is an 8 seed, and they'll play number 9 seed Illinois, so pretty close in seedings. That game will be on Thursday at 3:30 on TBS. This is the 3rd straight year that the Hogs have gone dancing. Coming up later in sports, you'll hear from head coach Eric Musselman on what he had to say on this Selection Sunday.
And a good Sunday evening. Hopefully everybody has been adjusting to the time change that we saw last night, and hopefully you got some sleep, because I know we did have a few storms roll on through that did produce some large hail for some. Fortunately, nothing too widespread, and we did not see anything beyond a few severe thunderstorm warnings, and of course a little bit some of those storm damages and some of the hail reports that you guys have been sending us in. We reached 60 degrees earlier this afternoon. We saw some of that sunshine peek on through, a very typical early spring day for us. Temperatures are on the cooler end already this evening, in the mid to low 50s, 40s already to our north, as we see some of that cooler air usher in overnight, which, matter of fact, will be dropping to just above freezing. But look at that, northern Arkansas will actually be below freezing. We actually have a freeze warning in effect for parts of northern Arkansas, parts of the River Valley region, because temperatures will be dropping below freezing. So we could see a hard freeze for some until tomorrow morning. But this is not our only bout of some frigid temperatures these next few nights. I'll talk more about other watches that we have in effect as well coming up.
Now that we've got a quick peek at the forecast, taking a look ahead, there will be a few road closures this week. One of them already started. The I-40 will be closed overnight until Friday between mile markers 174 and 185, from Lone Oak to right around the Carlisle Municipal Airport. Highway 67 also has a closure planned between mile markers 25 and 26 starting tomorrow morning, and that's through Thursday. That's all weather permitting. Little Rock police are investigating an early morning homicide at the Spanish Willows apartments on Geyer Springs Road. Officers found one male dead at the scene, whose injuries were, quote, consistent with a homicide. We are still working to find out more details on the incident, and we'll keep you updated on THV11.com. Now, we've followed the rollout of Little Rock Real-Time Crime Center for nearly a year now, and this week the center is moved into phase 2, and the Little Rock Police Department needs your help. THV11's Ian Russell shows us the upgraded system.
As the Little Rock Real-Time Crime Center moves into its next phase, cameras around the city can see what's happening in the moment, giving LRPD a heads up and better information for their officers on the ground.
When crime happens,
advising a suspicious female,
every piece of information matters.
To give officers updated information that they wouldn't have otherwise, to get a more efficient call for service.
Because the goal of this room, the Real-Time Crime Center from the Little Rock Police Department, is to do just that. A real look at crime as it happens.
And it's really not just police. You're always going to get a better emergency response if those first responders know ahead of time what they're getting into.
Cameras placed around the city can see things happen live. When a call does come in, like this test LRPD showed us, the center can immediately see what's going on.
Be advised that suspicious white female, she just walked into the lobby.
But it's not just immediate help the center can provide. This is also big for solving crimes.
Your system functions exactly the way it does. It's just a place where if we need to, we can go and get that video.
Using this box, you can give access to LRPD to connect to business and even personal security cameras, or you can disconnect. Major Ty Tyrell says it's up to you what you share.
Or I do want to. It's completely up to you. You can look at it and go, nah, I don't care, I don't want to mess with it. Or you can help us out and send us the video.
These boxes range from a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 depending on the size of your network.
Yeah, we've set a goal for ourselves of around 3,000 integrated cameras.
Major Tyrell emphasizes that they're not Big Brother in this situation. They'll only watch the cameras when they get a call, and he recognizes that it's hard to open up to a system as connected as this. but he says they need that help to be the eye in the sky.
That's where the power comes from. It's not this software, these detectives. It's all about us connecting with the people out there and getting their support in an easy, convenient way that they are comfortable with.
In Little Rock, Ian Russell, THV 11 News.
Along with the Real-Time Crime Center, LRPD is getting 75 new license plate readers to track stolen vehicles. Currently, the city has 33 readers to track cars. Mark Edwards with LRPD says tracking stolen cars isn't all this can do. They can also be used to track Amber Alerts and Silver Alerts.
If our LPRs alert us, then we'll be able to definitely see where that vehicle is, track it live, and possibly prevent someone from losing a loved one.
LRPD is still looking for businesses and private cameras to register for their network. If you want more information on that, you can head on over to our website at chv11.com. The price of gas isn't the only thing drivers are wary of amid inflation. If you're needing some work done to your car, those prices might also be a bit more than you're used to. Tonight, THV 11's Jalissa Garza shows us why.
Coleman & Son Automotive has been in business for more than 30 years, and over that time, things have changed, especially the cost of services.
We used to see oil changes back maybe in the 90s for 20 bucks. I mean, that 1999 oil change special is a thing of the past.
Owner D. Coleman says over time, things like oil changes have started to cost much more, especially within the last year.
The most common thing people gripe about is the cost of oil changes due to the fact you have to get those done more periodically. A 10% to 20% increase, especially on your synthetic oils.
And it's not just oil.
Well, your cost of tires. Your tires on your vehicle cost more than they did last year or the year before.
Coleman says inflation is behind the price increase, which also impacts what they're paying.
Just the price of parts, period. We're seeing an increase in price of parts. The normal water pumps and maintenance belts like that, but here now we're just used to paying it, so that's just something that we have to do.
Good news though, when it comes to supplies, they're no longer having delays like they did a few months ago.
The supply chain has picked up here in the last few months. It slowed down a little bit, but it caught back up and things seem to be looking pretty good.
But with maintenance costs rising, Coleman says don't hold things off in hopes of prices going down.
Anything that you put off can cost you more in the future. So go ahead and get that maintenance done on that vehicle.
Coleman advises people to call their mechanic for a price check so there's no surprises when you pay, and see if there's any way they can help you save.
And even some of my customers shop online. Now, we don't see a problem with that. If they could save a few dollars that way, we try to help them out as well.
In North Little Rock, Jalissa Garza, THV 11 News.
It was a busy week at the Capitol with lots of new laws and legislation being put in place, most notably the LEARNS Act. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders signed the education reform bill into law at the Capitol last Wednesday. It's expected to go into effect for the next school year. Another new law from the Capitol, the Youth Hiring Act, signed on Monday. It allows people younger than 16 years old to get jobs without having to get an employment certificate. Pensions allow workers to still get paid some amount of money by their employers after they retire. And a lot of government employees have pensions. But does that include members of Congress? Casey Decker with our Verify team has the details.
Several Verify viewers reached out to us with questions about what kinds of benefits members of Congress can receive, especially when it comes to retirement. So let's verify. Can members of Congress collect a pension? Our sources are the Congressional Research Service, the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, and the U.S. Government Accountability Office. Members of Congress are covered by the same plan as all other civilian workers in the federal government, the Federal Employees Retirement System. The plan provides a pension to anyone who's served at least 5 years. Retired members who meet that requirement can start collecting a monthly check when they turn 62. So yes, members of Congress can collect a pension if they've served 5 years. How much money they receive is determined based on their salary and how many years they served. A member serving the minimum 5 years at the current salary would get just under 15 grand per year. A report in 2018 found that the average member on this plan was receiving about 41 grand a year. And there's also a cap on how high the pension can go. It can't be more than 80% of their salary while in office. Like with most pensions, this one is partially funded by contributions from the members while they're in office. Depending on when they were elected, between 1 and 5% of their paycheck gets deducted. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Now, what's next for Silicon Valley Bank? After the break, we'll hear what Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen told Face the Nation about the bank's collapse. But first, a quick check-in with our local weather. Corrales?
Well, we saw some stormy weather last night, but fortunately, these next few days, the weather is going to be nice and quiet, but our nights and our mornings are going to start off pretty chilly for many areas. We are expecting some freezing conditions for some. I'll have more on that coming up.